sun is getting awfully low in the sky over the Gulf of Mexico as we're closing in on 7 o'clock local time here on the East Coast, and we have reached our highlight event of this day as we are to the men's senior mixed gold, or excuse me, the senior mixed gold medal match, men's and women's. I don't know why I said men's there, but we are happy to be back on the live stream. It's been a long day. This is the 5th match we've been bringing you today on the live stream. Melissa McCurley and Mark Renneson along with you. And we are just about set to get things underway. Scott Moore and Kris Anderson, opposed by Brian Staub and Cammy MacGregor. And Anderson and Moore are in the near court. MacGregor and Staub are in the far court. And MacGregor with the serve as we are on 0-0-1. Scott Moore, who last year was a Triple Crown winner here in Naples, Florida, and he will not be a Triple Crown winner this year. There's a good look at Scott. He did win the gold medal, however, in the senior pro singles event earlier this week. And hits that return long. I know that he was really excited to try and defend the Triple Crown, which he won here last year, winning the senior pro doubles, the senior pro mixed doubles, and the senior pro singles.
Yeah, and Cammy MacGregor won women's senior pro gold yesterday. She has an opportunity to win gold here today, and she would just miss the Triple Crown if she does, because she got silver to Jennifer Dawson in singles earlier this week.
What a day it was for her yesterday, though. She was so excited, not only winning the gold, but also it was her 10th anniversary. Her husband came out on the court with roses for her after her victory when she got her gold medal.
Yes, what a great day.
There we saw Scott Moore jumping the corner. We saw a little bit of that in the last round, well, a lot of that in the last round from Tyler Loon. That was Scott putting himself in a better position to hit an offensive shot by stepping around the kitchen to the outside of the court and reaching over to put away that ball.
Anderson showing some defense, and Moore unable to catch up with that one.
Yeah, and viewers might be wondering, why is Kris Anderson in Florida and what's 90-something degrees now wearing the...
Around the post, but it was just out.
So wearing the long sleeves shirt. That long sleeve shirt is an SPF cooling shirt from Sans Soleil. So it's actually keeping her cool.
Or so she says.
So she says.
And MacGregor into the net. So 2-1-2 here in the very early going.
And folks on the live stream have also been interested in how many matches these players have played. This bracket started at 8 a.m. this morning. It is now 7 p.m. in the evening. This is their 5th match of the day for each team.
1-2-1.
And keep in mind, all matches they played today have been 2 out of 3 to 11. So it's been quite a day.
It's our 5th match of the day as well. We haven't run around quite as much. But I'd actually probably feel better moving around than just sitting around.
And thank God we finally got some air moving around in here with a fan. I mean, it's been hot.
Anderson and Moore are keeping MacGregor and Staub back on the baseline. They finally do get up to the kitchen.
Oh, nice block by Scott Moore.
And Staub unable to get it over the net cord.
Yeah, you're going to see some different technique in this match than we did in some of the matches before this. You're going to see players, especially Brian Staub, when he hits that ball, he has a really stable wrist, very stable, almost stiff, some might say, and he generates speed less so through his hand and wrist and more so through the rotation of his body and his shoulder. Cammy MacGregor, in some ways, when she plays her volleys, has a similar kind of style. We saw with some of the players earlier, a little more, a little looser in the wrist and hand area to generate speed there. So interesting contrast.
Back into the net, so that'll move it to an early 3-1 advantage. 3-1-2. For all 4 of the players on this court, as we alluded to, all 4 have been on championship court already this week.
You're going to see Scott Moore serving with his forehand here on the left-hand side of the court. And when he serves from the right-hand side, he nearly almost always uses a backhand.
Yeah, and he's been really working on a two-handed backhand, one of the things he concentrated on within his training to get here to Naples, Florida. In fact, Scott said that he feels like he's in the best shape that he's ever been in. He did some blood restriction and hand speed training leading up to the U.S. Open. Not really even sure what blood restriction training is. You guys have any insight into that?
I do. It's with B3 bands. So they actually look like what I call little blood pressure cuffs, and you pump them up, and it restricts the blood flow, getting your muscles a faster workout much quicker. And he absolutely says they've helped him be in the best shape of his life. I tried them out in Arizona in February. But I haven't committed to them at this point.
Doesn't sound very comfortable.
And it doesn't work for some. Some want their full hour workout, right? So you normally would work out for a full hour with these bands. You might only be able to work out for 10 minutes.
Wow.
That's a great blocked volley with the backhand down the line, landing just inside the sideline. McGregor's not able to get a paddle on it. That's going to be 1-6-2.
Gil LaCroix checking in, saying that he's been following all week from Bucksport, Maine, was playing on these same courts 2 weeks ago. And that it really is amazing. You can come play on these courts when this tournament is not taking place.
Yeah, there's 54 courts here, about 400 players that play here in Naples every day.
Great action at the net.
Oh, look at that. Cammy's defense has been spot on, and nice offensive lob. And
wow.
Look at Kris battling. Wow.
A well-earned exchange there.
Here we get to see it again. We saw some great defense by both teams. Oh, wow. And that is a forehand you do not want to be on the other side of from Kris Anderson. She hits the ball about harder than any other woman I've seen in the game.
Anderson grew up playing tennis in New York, played 4 years at Lehigh University, showing off the tennis stroke there. It's 7-1 timeout here in Naples. How about the Margaritaville Beach Cruisers on display here in Naples, Florida, inside the vendor tent, and back to Zing Zang Championship Court. The Margarita VIP Lounge is at the top of your screen. Great place to hang out if you're fortunate enough to get a ticket here to Zing Zang Championship Court. And those tickets are getting harder and harder to come by as this tournament becomes more and more popular.
They sell out every year, and there's good crowds in this stadium all week long.
The other thing I like as you look around the crowd is you'll see faces of other players. They'll sit around and support their fellow pickleball players.
Yeah, pickleball is very social and just one big family. And it's a worldwide. You're part of pickleball, you're part of the family.
MacGregor and Staub trying to dig out of this hole.
One thing to note, we talked about the power of the players earlier, and I think you said Kris Anderson, one of the hardest hitting women out there. So statistician Chad Edwards just tapped me on the shoulder to point out that, and there's the 23rd. That is the 23rd third shot that's been hit of the match. Every single one of them has been a drop so far. Not a single third shot drive. And contrast that to the matches we've seen previously today, where we were seeing sort of a 2-to-1 ratio of drives to drops to drives, that is. Here we haven't seen one yet.
I think that has more to do with the fact that we are seeing the senior division here today.
More experience?
I'm not going to say it.
I'm not saying necessarily because of the age level. I'm just saying more that the style of play in the upper division.
You know what? All these players have such good volleys. Cammy MacGregor, of course, doubles player who competed at Wimbledon, Brian Staub. All these players have such great hands, and so I think when players are setting up to hit their third shot, they have to consider, if I drive this ball, are they going to have trouble with it? And if they believe that their opponents won't, that they might drop it in the kitchen for a winner, or they might push it back deep, they may be better off playing that drop. But interesting to see that all these players, there isn't a lack of power. They can all hit hard, but they're choosing not to on that third shot.
9-3 now. And Moore unable to clear the net, so it'll move to 9-3-2. Anderson and Moore looking for a decisive win here in this first game, best of 3 match for the gold medal.
Another nice block by Cammy.
And then into the net, so here we have game points for Anderson and Moore.
We've also seen a lot of really deep returns of serve, which neutralizes the drive a little bit, so that could be a factor as well. There's another good deep return.
Scott hits it into the net, so MacGregor and Staub will get a chance here to try and close this deficit.
Thanks everyone who's
There's the drive. Look at that.
Oh,
one drive hits a winner.
There you go.
Got helped out with the net cord, but
you think he did that just to change some things up a bit?
I think Brian was saying. You know what? They're down, and sometimes when you're down, if you're feeling a little bit tight, a good way to get over that is just to rip it a little bit and see what happens. And did get some help from the net.
Oh, Brian's going to have to go. Look at that. Wow.
It's good speed from Staub.
Yeah, really nice coverage.
Timeout here, it looks like.
Yeah, nice effort, and not easy to do on the run.
2 consecutive points closes it to a 10-5 game, and a timeout taken. We'll take a break here as well in Naples. Back here in Naples, a little cornhole going on. They've got a little bit of everything to entertain you here at East Naples Community Park. Cammy MacGregor and Brian Staub, they won a gold medal earlier this week in the mixed 50-plus division. And they'd love to get another gold medal here, but they've got a hole to dig out of, or to climb out of, I should say. And it moves to 5-10-2.
Well, if anybody can do it, these two can.
Look at 6-10-2.
Oh, yeah, and that was a nice reach by Scott, and that really caught Cammy off guard.
And that'll set up game point here as the serve will change sides.
Moore and Anderson definitely have the height advantage here. Can reach those marginal balls and hit them hard. Game point.
Moore lets it go.
Oh, and it just in. Moore thought it was going to go out, gave it a second look.
10-6, that's something I'm going to give a second look to as well.
Linesman Andy Jones calling that ball in, and Scott Moore gave it the nod. Telling her, good job, that was a tight call.
Net cord there. Lob by Anderson. Staub chases it down. Moore lets it bounce and then hits it. Can't get it over.
Wait.
Wait.
Oh, they called it out?
The referee's calling it out. Oh, they just showed it again. I missed it.
So they did call it out. So a little bit of controversy to finish off game one, but it is in the books 11-6 in favor of Anderson and Moore. We'll have game 2 coming up after this quick timeout. Back in Naples, one last look at that last point to close out game 1. And awfully tight there. Awfully tight, but they called it out. So 11-6 in favor of Anderson and Moore. MacGregor and Staub will begin this second game with the serve.
We have a question on the live feed about, does anyone know the largest venue in the U.S. number of courts? This is the one. There's 54 courts here at the East Naples Community Park. There are some other ones that are under construction. There's one out in Newport Beach, California. They're looking to have 64 courts. It's a tennis facility that's converting a lot of their courts to pickleball, and they'll have 64.
Well, I mean, as you guys well know, the pickleball courts are always full, seemingly wherever you go. I've seen it in Minnesota. I've seen it in California. I split my time mostly between those two states, but I get to travel around. And, you know, I was up this morning at the Green Links condo complex where many of us are staying associated with the tournament. I was up at 8 a.m. and the courts were already packed.
Yeah, pickleball is. So I got distracted with the feed, but yes, pickleball, people can't wait to get up and play in the morning.
Well, especially here in Florida, if you're going to play, the ideal time to play is when that sun is first coming up into the sky. Because once it gets past about 10 a.m., it's a little sticky.
Especially this time of year. Oh, nice lob by Kris.
Wow, what a dig there.
Oh, look at another one.
Staub
Wow.
just showing off right now. Let's that one go. That was impressive.
Brian Staub, a great softball player, and here looking like he's chasing down grounders in the infield.
Staub is the most senior member of this senior foursome. It's 61 years young.
Yeah, you would never know it. He is definitely in great shape.
Was a employee of UPS for 28 years, so I'm going to guess that probably helped to keep him in shape as well.
I think in the HR department.
Wow.
Look at Cammy.
Around the post, and she flexes a little muscle afterwards.
And the crowd really loving that,
This is a great
too.
example of waiting for that ball to get out wide enough that you can hit the ATP. Good patience there. Good read on the play.
So move it to 3-2-2.
Oh,
Moore saw an angle, but he is unable to execute.
4-2-2 when we return.
we're going to have a timeout.
A timeout will be taken here by Anderson and Moore. MacGregor and Staub have surged ahead. Well, the heat index is down into double digits from triple digits, so we'll take that.
Okay,
Yeah, definitely. It was really, really warm today. Now it's actually starting to feel comfortable. But the rain stayed away all day today.
And it is supposed to be pretty much a carbon copy tomorrow weather-wise.
Melissa, I have an idea for the tournament next year.
You do. Hit
Yeah.
me with it.
So we invest in some lights on all the courts that are like full-time, ready to go. And the matches start at 6 p.m. and we play throughout the night when the temperature is more comfortable.
Okay, see, you're stealing my idea because I just told Terry Graham, who's one of the founders of this tournament, got more into the net. I told Terry that the Las Vegas Invitational should be all at night.
Yeah, you know what? You do it as a nocturnal pickleball tournament.
It seems like it'd be more fitting to Vegas to have it all night.
No doubt. I think we got some Cammy fans in the house here.
I would say so.
There are lights on all courts though here.
I know, but to run them all night on all 50 courts, 54 courts, I think that would cost something.
Listen, after a long winter up north, I am not upset about this heat whatsoever.
You guys had a lot of snow.
A lot of cold. I never knew what 55 below zero wind chill felt like.
Ooh.
I didn't really need to know.
Come south, come south.
Oh, unforced error there by Staub, who puts the paddle on his head.
3-5-1.
3-5-1.
One of the things I love watching about Brian Staub is he's such a great competitor, but also doesn't take himself too seriously. He's hard on himself. He demands a lot from himself, but he knows how to laugh at himself when necessary too. And I think that's a really great thing to have in a partner, right? If you feel like your partner can make a joke about themselves, then that takes a little bit of pressure off of you.
Another timeout being taken here as it's tightened up to 5-4 here in game 2. Dave Benz, Melissa McCurley, and Mark Renneson along with you as we continue this live stream. Our last day of live streaming. We've enjoyed all the feedback we've gotten from all of you enjoying the live stream, and we're glad you've made it That's a part of your week, bringing you these U.S. Open Pickleball Championships. We will be on the air tomorrow. However, you will not be able to see it until May 24th at 7 Eastern on CBS Sports Network as they protect their exclusivity of that event.
Oh, yeah. It'll be exciting to watch when it does air. It is every year.
The people all across North America and beyond have these watch parties, right? They all get together in the same place. They watch the CBS stream. They get together with friends or their pickleball club. It's can be a real event. And right there, that was a real event. Scott Moore putting the ball into the ground near Brian Staub's feet and taking the lead 6-5.
Yes. 6-5.
Anderson and Moore would love to finish this thing off in 2 games.
Yeah, I keep trying to look up at the live scoreboard, which was an addition to the U.S. Open this year, but the sun just right in our eyes looking in that direction.
The live scoreboard is amazing. It was a great addition.
5-6-1.
You're taking this home with you after the tournament, right? Putting it in your house, Dave?
No, I'm told that it is staying put. Their intention is to leave it up all year round.
Nice. Well, it does other things. It's a digital display board.
Let's see. Moore can put this ball away. Oh, Anderson will have a chance. Staub is going to be happy to do this all day long. The crowd's going to get into it in a minute.
It looks like it's an over. Oh!
What a
Oh, wow.
great job
that
tracking
angle.
it down, but couldn't execute it.
Nice example of the importance of hitting some of those overheads with a good angle going off the court. Staub was so steady from behind the baseline that Moore decided to see if he could put him in the front row.
So 6-6-2. And the serve will head back over to Anderson and Moore.
My friend Trina Negretti has joined us from California. Hi, Trina. Oh, that's a nice lob.
Really was. Cammy
what
did
a
a good job
rundown.
of tracking it down.
You know what? One of the things that makes those lobs so effective, and that lob not only got over Cammy MacGregor, who's a quick mover, but it also landed well inside the baseline. That's partly because Anderson hit it cross court. When you hit diagonally, you have more room to work with. And so some of the lobs that we've seen over the last couple of days that haven't been so successful have typically been down the line. By going cross court, you give yourself a little more room to work with, and Anderson did a great job there.
So, Melissa, I'm curious, and I don't have the math on this, but can I give you a homework assignment? I know you've got nothing to do, right?
I have
Because
nothing,
you have nothing to do.
In fact, I was napping when you just asked me that question.
So going into tomorrow, I'd like to know, with all the divisions and all the matches here, who has won the most gold medals overall in this tournament? Do you already know the answer to that?
The most
In
gold
the
medals.
history of this tournament, counting this year and going into play tomorrow.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's Simone, but I will double check for
Okay,
you.
that'd be good to know going into
Since the
tomorrow.
inception of the U.S. Open.
Yes, since the inception of the U.S. Open.
That might be a quick assignment for me. I'm pretty sure that's who it is.
It's now the 8th unforced error in this game from Moore and Anderson.
Staub and MacGregor battling and winning on that exchange.
Yeah. And more Cammy fans. That's what I'm calling them. Every time Cammy does something, boy, this crowd really wakes up.
Anderson put so much topspin on those forehands.
Oh, and look at Brian. He got in the zone.
And you know what I noticed on that exchange, Mark? You talked about it earlier about the optimal height of getting the ball over the net. You know, unless you're trying to hit a lob, and all 4 of these players are so good at executing that.
Yeah, whether you're hitting a ball fast that you want to stay in the court, ooh, that's a tough call. Whether you're hitting a ball fast that you want to stay in the court, or you're playing a ball that you're trying to force an upward hit, it's vital that you keep that ball low. And you're right, this is a skill that these players really excel at.
Timeout on the court, 9-8. Back here in Naples, Margaritaville, one of the fantastic sponsors of this event. And 9-8-1 in favor of Staub and MacGregor as they try to get this to a decisive third game.
Oh.
Anderson into the net, and that will set up a game point.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if she's feeling a little tight. That's what that looked like. I mean, it was just not her typical. I mean, she just lets loose on her swing. That was a little hesitant.
They're going to go at her a little bit more, see what Moore does to try to get involved.
And that's going to go out.
And there you go. Game 2 will go to MacGregor-Staub. We will have a game 3 to decide gold here in Naples, Florida. Great aerial view of Naples, Florida. Picturesque scene, to say the least. And we have gotten to a decisive third game to decide the gold medal here in Naples at the East Naples Community Park. Senior mixed gold comes down to this final run to try to get to 11 points.
Yeah, how exciting has this been?
It's been fantastic. Great finish to what's been a great day. We hope you've been with us throughout the day. And Staub putting that away with the backhand.
So this is the thing to watch here. Staub and MacGregor had a lot of success late in that second game going Anderson. You see Moore trying to literally rubbing her shoulders to get rid of some of that tension. The question here is, how is she going to be able to hold up to weather this storm? Because MacGregor and Staub are coming back at her.
Staub, who has the advantage of this kind of being his home court, resides in the villages in this area.
It's going to put more pressure on Moore. You're going to see him covering more of the court, more in the middle of the court. But that also means that's going to open up some space on his side. So interesting to see how this plays out.
You know, I was really impressed with Bo Muno, who we saw on center court earlier, with his hands and his volleys at the net. But, I mean, Cammy's, wow. She has great touch.
Yeah, she's had quite the run, as you mentioned earlier, in this tournament. Already has a silver and a gold, looking for a second gold.
She's got a couple of golds, right? Mixed age and the women's doubles senior pro.
Yeah, she has been fantastic. Great look at the kitchen cam there. MacGregor leaves it short.
202.
So 2-0-2. Staub's backhand will sail out of bounds, so a chance to serve now here for Anderson and Moore. Scott Moore goes up and gets it.
Yeah, he really got some air on that. I thought that was going to go over him.
Heads up.
Wow.
Yeah, so again, good idea to go cross court on this ball. What was smart by Moore is to intercept that ball, because if he lets that go by, that's now going over Anderson's backhand high. It's going to be a tough ball. So Moore being aggressive there.
Staub wisely lets that one go as it lands out of bounds, and now Moore will take over the service. Scott Moore, who runs pickleball trips with his sons when he's not competing in tournaments, travels internationally and sets up trips that involve pickleball instruction sessions around the globe.
And yeah, it's definitely a family affair. I want to get on one of those trips at one point. They go some great places. Japan is on my bucket list.
Yeah, Scott is fluent in Japanese, I should say, as well as Spanish.
They spent a lot of their winter this year in Mexico, and just had a really, really good time down there teaching and playing pickleball.
So they're seeing more fake poaching, as though he's going to come across. That draws the downline drive from Staub to Moore, who's then able to hit a tough shot to MacGregor that gets popped up, and Anderson, great job finishing the point.
So 1-2-1.
That's the first time we've seen a forehand serve from Moore on the right-hand side of the court.
Oh.
So what's happening now is kind of what we expected, is they continue to target Anderson. Moore continues to try to be aggressive. In that case, sort of either going over further than Anderson expected. So now the backhand's coming on the left side.
Trying to mix it up.
Trying to give him a different look. I mean, sometimes you got to do something, but they just took the lead in this third game, up 3-2.
Goes back to the backhand now on the right side.
Wow.
Quick reflexes there by Staub to put it away.
3-2-2.
And Staub hits it long, so Anderson and Moore now on a little bit of a run, opening up this 4-2 advantage.
Yes.
You definitely don't want to let them get on too big of a run. They are two of the best in the game.
Moore calls Colorado Springs home. Anderson is in Orange County, California, Newport Beach, California to be exact, resident.
Got Elaine Shallcross is on.
Pretty sure it hit her in the shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah, and she
Did she
raised
get
her
hit?
hand to say yes, it did.
As I say, Elaine Shallcross is on. She does a lot of work overseas, especially in Thailand with pickleball. She's saying, come to Thailand, Elaine. I would love to get there too, lady.
There's that great angle again.
And the lob again out of Staub.
Wow, what a get by Cammy and Staub.
Both covering ground, but leaning the wrong way. They catch Staub going out of bounds, and they're able to finish it off.
And some great defense, but in that defense, they just had to leave too much court open.
3-4-2 now.
3-4-2.
That was a really nice shot by Kris.
So head back over to Anderson and Moore. See if they can open a little bit of breathing room here with the gold medal on the line.
There's that risky lob. Cammy MacGregor, such a good mover, so good at putting away the overheads. I know it seems enticing to play that lob, but unless you play it perfectly, you're going to be in trouble. MacGregor happy that Anderson tried to go over her.
Mallory Schreier-Wickland chiming in. Shout out to my dad, Scott Schreier, for being an awesome referee.
Yes, Scott Schreier from Minnesota, by the way.
There you go.
In fact, it was one of, he is a tournament director for some tournaments there in Minnesota, and they actually caught a picture of you.
Really?
They were at the game and caught a picture of you. I think you were in the background. We were just, we really weren't trying to see you. I think we were trying to see other pickleball players, but there you were.
Yeah. Well, where we are located there, we get a lot of FaceTime, that's for sure, right behind the coach usually.
I'm actually going to Minnesota next month, Lakeville, Minnesota, to a Lifetime facility. And Scott's going to come and spend some time shadowing with me, learning to do some more things around the tournament operations. He certainly does a good job. But wow, look at Cammy.
And now MacGregor and Staub forge ahead with the 5-4 lead.
I was in Lakeville in January doing some coaching. That's a really strong pickleball community there. Yeah, really great group of people.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, nice touch shot.
Wow.
Staub able to catch up to it.
That's impressive.
And then
Nice
the lob.
lob.
Uh-oh.
Oh, is that trouble? Kimmy got that. This is going to turn out to be the point of the match. Oh, wow.
A good read by Staub to try to intercept that ball, but just a little bit too long. Great point here. See the athleticism of all these players. Fun to watch.
Yeah, that point there had me on the edge of my seat.
Kind of would have liked to have seen it be a more emphatic finish when it's such a great point, but the exchange was
you're
fantastic.
so picky, Dave.
I am.
Should we go to a timeout or what?
Timeout. Let's take a break. Back here in Naples, Florida, as you can see, Kris Anderson and Scott Moore are trying to stay loose as Cammy MacGregor remains in the box. And Brian Staub just kind of relegated to waiting. Cammy is back on her feet now. You can see her just on the right side of your screen. And hopefully she will be good to go in just a few minutes. They did call for a 15-minute delay, but that doesn't mean they have to take all 15 minutes if she's ready to go beforehand. And she's got the paddle back in her hand, so looks like we are just about set to resume here in this third and decisive game. 4-5-1 is the score right now as Anderson and Moore control the serve.
So you were trying to stay loose as well. What is flip cat?
Okay, now my son Brendan is going to be extremely excited because that is his handle on a game called Roblox.
Okay.
That he loves to play. He's obsessed with, my 10-year-old son. I would love to tell you that he's sitting back in California. He just got home from school not that long ago, probably, because it's 4:44 there. And I'd love to tell you that he came home anxiously looking to put on the live stream of the Pickleball channel, but I'm sure the first thing he did was start playing this video game, and he's calling me and asking me if I can play alongside him. I told him I'm a little busy right now.
Well, we're back in action here, so everything's good with Cammy, and here we go.
Interesting to see how Moore right off the bat played that lob over MacGregor, testing her movement. We're not sure exactly what the issue was, whether it was definitely her foot that was being worked on. It could be blisters, and that's how competitive sports goes, is if you think that you have an advantage, even if it's a medical-related one.
They also put the lights on here in the stadium court.
All knotted up at 5. And hit long there by Anderson. So move to 5-5-2.
5-5-2.
MacGregor trying to go up for it, and it was just a little bit high.
And just went off the end of her paddle.
6-5-2 now as Anderson Moore have taken the lead, and they're going to change sides of the court.
Yeah, so in the third game in pickleball, the first team to get to 6, you do change sides.
By the way, I will tell you this. You know what? When I do get back to my son, I'm going to put on the Annalee and William Sobek match and show him hey, in 2 years this could be you.
Oh,
we need to spend some time on the pickleball courts this summer.
How exciting would it be to see your son here on Zing Zang Championship Court?
That would be fantastic. See how quick of a learner he can be. He has played some pickleball with me, but I don't think he's been inspired yet. Maybe he'll get that inspiration.
Yeah.
5-6-2.
5-6-2 now. And what has been a fantastic gold medal match to this point.
Oh, that's a tough break.
You know, it's something, it's sort of a double-edged sword here. We talked earlier about Kris Anderson and her propensity to use topspin when she plays those dinks with that forehand, and they can be really effective going up and over and sort of dipping down, being a bit harder to handle. But when you add spin to the ball, you're also adding more risk because you're moving the paddle more, you're changing the plane that it's moving on, and sometimes you get the wrong end of that double-edged sword.
That one just out, so 7-6-2.
Nicely done right at the feet of Staub, who is at three-quarter court looking to come in.
6-7-1.
It's a great return.
The lob by Anderson. Staub, a great job catching up to it. Oh, Brian was looking to try and end that point. Instead, hits it into the net.
Yeah, Cammy's definitely not moving at 100% right now. Normally after her partner goes back to play that overhead smash, you'd see her looking across and to intercept a high ball over the middle, but she hung back on her side, which meant Staub had to play one more shot.
And put away by Moore. So now Anderson and Moore back in front. It's been back and forth this entire match.
Oh, that was just a tight. That was a tight.
Anderson and Moore now just 2
Gotta think a
points
timeout
away.
might be coming up here. They gotta stop this momentum. You can see MacGregor slowing things down, trying to get a stop here.
Oh, favorable bounce. And then
Wow.
well played by Staub, but Moore catches up to it.
And Scott trying to take over here, and he does.
Wow.
And now he's just a point away, along with Anderson, as they are closing in on this gold.
Anderson wants to get serving as soon as she can here to try to capitalize. Match point.
And long. So the serve will stay on that side of the net. Now it will move to 10-7-2. And Scott Moore will try to close it out on championship point.
Oh.
And there it is.
And there it is.
And you see the celebration for Anderson and Moore as they have struck gold here in Naples, Florida. A nice ovation out of the crowd here at Zing Zang Championship Court. We'll award the hardware and hear from the winners coming up.
And here we are once again. Heather from Margaritaville is going to give our gold medalists to Scott Moore and Kris Anderson. Come on out here, guys.
Thank you.
And the Head Sweats Champions hat. Only gold champions get those. And you got your head shoes. And for Scott, another gold medal.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're very
Thank you. And thank you. I'll turn that around. Thank you.
Sorry.
Come on.
I thought I was a pro at this.
You gotta
Apparently
fix
I'm
that.
not.
Gotta fix that medal. You gotta show it off.
There it is. Oh boy. Got it. Do you want me to hold?
And the head shoes.
Do you want us to hold the shoes?
Well, I'm going to chat with you real quick. You can leave them down for a sec. So, for the folks that are out there, people have been watching, right? It's great when you can do it in 2 games, but you go to 3. And it didn't always turn out exactly as you're flowing. What's going on and what had to change in order to close it out?
Oh, they're always so tough. The ball just kept coming back and coming back. They were chasing down everything, and we just had to dig deep.
Yeah, and so in that 3rd game, right, it wasn't like it went straight away. It's tight, and you're fighting, and then there's a side out and another side out. For you, on your end, as you're playing with Kris, who's really strong, how do you work that out?
Kris helps me to have fun and relax. And when I got tight and missed some easy balls, I look at Kris. She's got this big smile on her face, and I'm thinking, this is awesome to be in the U.S. Open on this court with Kris in this moment. How can you not just enjoy that? So we just relaxed and had a great time.
Well, both of you, there's some great play. Again, thanks for the example you're putting out and playing those games, winning those medals. Excellent shots all around. Everybody, that's it for now in terms of our live streams. Thanks for all these things. Dave, why don't you take us out?